What lesser-known court cases shaped modern racial policy? Imagine a courtroom where decisions quietly change the course of history. Some cases don't grab headlines but still shape how racial justice moves forward. Today, we're uncovering those lesser-known cases that have had a big impact on racial policy in the United States. Let's start with Allen versus Milligan from 2023 to 2025. This case challenged Alabama's district maps, claiming they unfairly reduced black voters' influence. The court agreed and said the maps violated the Voting Rights Act. This ruling helped protect black voters from racial gerrymandering, making sure they have fair chances to elect representatives. It shows how courts continue to fight against voting discrimination even after the civil rights movement. Next, there's Collins and others versus the City of Milwaukee from 2017. This lawsuit focused on police stops that targeted black residents without good reason. It exposed how racial profiling can happen in everyday policing. The case pushed for reforms in law enforcement practices, aiming to stop unfair treatment of black communities. It's part of ongoing efforts to make policing more just after many years of racial tension. Another important case is Morgan versus Virginia from 1946. This case challenged laws that segregated black and white passengers on interstate buses. The Supreme Court ruled that such segregation was unconstitutional because it violated the Commerce Clause. This decision was an early step toward ending segregation in public transportation and laid groundwork for future civil rights victories. Shelley versus Kremer from 1948 also played a key role. It dealt with housing covenants that kept black families out of certain neighborhoods. The court decided that courts could not enforce these private agreements because doing so would support racial discrimination. This case helped weaken housing segregation, which was a big part of racial inequality in America. In 1950, two cases called Sweet versus Painter and McLaurin versus Oklahoma, state regents challenged segregation in higher education. Both cases argued that separate facilities for black students were inherently unequal. The Supreme Court agreed, ruling that segregation in schools was unfair and weakening the legal basis for segregation in colleges. These cases pushed the way toward educational equality. Finally, Terry versus Adams from 1953 challenged a Texas election system that only allowed white voters to participate in certain primaries. The court ruled that such practices violated the 15th Amendment, which protects voting rights. This decision helped fight racial barriers in voting and reinforce the importance of fair elections. All these cases might not be household names, but they shaped laws and policies that continue to influence racial justice today. They fought against voting suppression, housing discrimination, unfair policing, and educational segregation. Each one shows how the legal system has been a tool for Black Americans and allies to challenge racial barriers and push for equality. Their outcomes still matter as we work toward a fairer society.